Patrick's Day, O's fans. Today the Birds take on the Twins, their opponent for the home opener. So sit back, relax, and enjoy spring training baseball. It's coming up right here on Massive. It is spring training baseball on Massive today from Ed Smith Stadium in Sarasota. The Orioles getting set to take on the Minnesota Twins. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. Thanks so much for joining us. The Orioles today begin the final 2 weeks of spring training, and there is still work to be done and decisions to be made, in particular in the starting rotation. We believe the top 4 spots are already claimed with Jason Hamill, Wei-Yin Chen, Chris Tillman, and Miguel Gonzalez, but there is a battle for the number 5 spot, and oh, is it a battle? In fact, the contenders for that spot are putting up a case that they should be in the opening day rotation. Now, of the starters, Jair Jurgens, who's in camp on a minor league deal, he has the most experience. Brian Mattis, Jake Arrieta, and Zach Britton all saw time last year, as did Steve Johnson, who will start today late in the year. He made 4 starts. TJ McFarland still in the mix. He's in camp as a Rule 5 pick. And Mike Bordick, when you look at this and look at the competition, it's good, it's healthy. Somebody's going to make the team, somebody's not going to make the team, but that's a good problem if you're the Orioles.
It sure is. I mean, what a tribute to what Dan Duquette and Buck Showalter have done here to build such great depth. I mean, I think probably better than any other major league team is the depth that they have. I mean, all of these guys that are competing for spots have experience in the big leagues. Steve Johnson, who we're going to see this afternoon, came up and did nothing but impress when he came up in August. I mean, really shut him down. So a lot of excitement there. Even if these guys don't make the squad, they're going to be reaching down and grabbing them throughout the season. We saw how many moves they made last year.
We've talked quite a bit in spring training about these games being very important. When you're battling for a spot, the only time you can impress is when you're in the game. We're coming back to Sarasota. It's St. Patrick's Day. Lineups and first pitch are coming up. Well, we are in Sarasota on a nice Sunday afternoon. Temperature in the mid-70s. A bit overcast, but a nice day for baseball as the Orioles welcome in the Minnesota Twins, who made the ride up from Fort Myers this morning. And here is Ron Gardenhire's lineup. Aaron Hicks, Jamie Carroll, and Ryan Billman, with Justin Morneau in the cleanup spot. 19 home runs and 77 RBIs last year, battling back from his concussion syndrome. Wilkin Ramirez will DH, then Chris Parmelee, Joe Benson, Eduardo Escobar, and the one-time Oriole prospect Pedro Florimon at shortstop and batting ninth.
And here's Steve Johnson scouting report in the fight indeed. As we mentioned in the open, Steve Johnson is fighting for that 5th spot, and he has been doing nothing but impress. Nothing to hurt himself this spring. And he proved last year at the end of the season that he could definitely compete in the big leagues. Does it by mixing it up. He's got all the pitches, fastball, slider, curve, and change. And he keeps hitters off balance with that. That's why he gets a lot of swing and misses and not very hard contact. He mixes up his pitches well. Command is certainly a key, though. He's got to be able to locate that fastball and work everything off that pitch. Take a look at his numbers last year. 12-4, that 4-0 record. Very impressive. 2.11 earned run average, 46 strikeouts, just 18 walks. The last quarter of the season, he was in the tops in the league in that category.
So Steve Johnson, who has last pitched on March the 12th, but that was in an intra-squad game. Buck Showalter has been taking advantage of any opportunity to get his pitchers innings. Steve worked in that intra-squad game, which was a day off for the team, but players who needed to work did come, and he pitched in the intra-squad game on one of the back fields here at the Sarasota complex. So here is Aaron Hicks, who will lead off. The 23-year-old first-round pick in 2008. He is having an outstanding spring, as you see those numbers. And Johnson deals high, and we're underway.
Yeah, Aaron Hicks, highly thought of. The Minnesota Twins, after they traded Ben Revere, he is looking to be the starting center fielder.
And down and in, 2 balls and no strikes on Aaron Hicks. Now, Steve Johnson, this is his 4th appearance in regulation spring games and his 2nd start. And you see the Orioles wearing the St. Patrick's Day hats today. There's a strike at the knees, taken all the way by Hicks, and it's 2-1. For Steve, 25 years old. A 13th round pick of the Dodgers back in 2005, and then acquired by the Orioles. And a bunt attempt, and it's a good one if it stays fair. It is rolling and is foul, and Reeders picks it up to make sure. Machado was back, and Hicks trying to lay down the bunt.
You can tell he's got speed as well. Pretty good placement there, but the spring training field just tilted off into foul territory.
Well, the Twins, without a doubt, are getting a good look at Aaron Hicks, who spent last year in Double-A. Buck Showalter was saying before the game that for the regular players, he likes to see 45 to 55 plate appearances before it's all over. Hicks already has 45 at-bats in spring training for the Twins.
Yeah, Gardenhire wants to get a good look at this young prospect.
He had a foul back to keep it alive. For Steve Johnson last year, 4-0 after coming up to the Orioles, with a very impressive ERA of 2.11. One of those guys that maybe doesn't wow you with the stuff, but all he does is win. That's a good thing. Down and in, ball 3.
Yeah, his numbers are so impressive last year, not only as a starter, but when he showed his versatility by coming out of the bullpen and made 8 relief appearances, 16 innings, and his earned run average was even lower out of the pen at 1.10.
And the 3-2 to Aaron Hicks is a called strike 3. Got him at the knees. So a perfect pitch. Johnson gets the out, 1 away.
Yeah, nice job working his way back. Nice smooth delivery. Very consistent. Able to repeat it. And he paints a fastball in the outside corner. Another good look at it right here. Very true. Nice finish at the end.
Well, Steve was a strikeout pitcher in the minor leagues. Gets one here. Here's Jamie Carroll, the veteran. And Johnson gets ahead on 1. Jamie Carroll now 39 years old and still going strong. 2nd season with the Twins, and takes one down and away.
Well, he's certainly the type of player the manager Ron Gardenhire wants his players to emulate. You know, he does things the right way. He works hard. He can do everything with the bat. He can bunt, hit and run. Really handles the bat well and plays all kinds of different positions out there. So versatility and able to handle the bat, get runners in motion. That's the type of player they're trying to create there in Minnesota.
Slice to right field. Dickerson was shallow. He'll get to it. And he puts it away for the out. 2 men down.
Take a look at the Orioles defense this afternoon. Lou Ford out in left field. Nate McLouth in center. Chris Dickerson, who just made that play in right field. Manny Machado. Chris Davis on the corners. Hardy and Roberts up the middle. Matt Wieters doing the catching this afternoon.
And back with the Orioles today, there's Mr. Jones, back from the World Baseball Classic. Disappointed that the Americans were eliminated, but happy to be back with his teammates. And there's a slice of the left field. Back on it is Ford, and Lou has it for the out. Good inning for Steve Johnson as he retires the side 3 up and 3 down in the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first. Here come the Birds. In Sarasota and feeling lucky because we have a leprechaun in the stands on this St. Patrick's Day. Twins go 3 up, 3 down. Here's the Orioles lineup. Brian Roberts leads off, then Manny Machado. Was last year Manny came up 7 home runs and 26 RBIs after joining the Orioles in August. Nate McLouth, Matt Wieters, and Chris Davis with J.J. Hardy at shortstop, then Connor Jackson, Chris Dickerson, and Lou Ford in left field batting ninth.
And here's a scouting report for Vance Worley this afternoon. Traded for Ben Revere from the Phillies. So the Twins have high hopes that he will step into that potential #1 or #2 spot for them in the rotation. He has a natural cutter, 4-seam fastball, but gets on the side of it a little bit. So you're going to see a lot of cutters. His slider is his out pitch. So if he gets ahead, look for that swing and miss. Controls the running game very well. Very quick to the plate. Take a look at his numbers last year. Made 23 starts, 6-9 record with a 4.20 run average.
And he deals low to Brian Roberts, who is having a very good spring. There are the splits on Vance Worley. Big, strong right-handed pitcher, 25-year-old. And Roberts slaps it foul. And of course, Brian Roberts, the key for Brian is he's playing every game that he's asked to play, and he's doing all the things. And here are the numbers on the spring: a home run, 2 RBIs. And you see the stolen bases. That was in the game that he played a couple of days ago. He attempted to steal twice, was successful on the first one, then was caught on the next one. First steal attempt, head first slide. Second steal attempt, he went in feet first.
Right. And he was safe on the first one, out on the second, right?
Right.
So, you know, Brian's trying to feel his way through as well. He hadn't had a stolen base attempt up until the game a couple days ago. So I think just getting his legs under him, feeling comfortable out there. We had mentioned he's now in a great routine, feeling like more like part of the team. And you're going to see him stretch it out a little bit now. I think you're going to see him run more here the next couple weeks, and he's going to be playing more regularly, which I think is going to help him.
And the 3-1 is high ball 4, and there's a leadoff walk. So Brian Roberts works his way on. Birds have the leadoff man on in the bottom of the first.
And here's the Twins defense. Benson out in left field, Hicks in center, Parmelee in right field, Escobar at third, Florimon and Carroll up the middle, Justin Morneau playing first base, and Ryan Dumet doing the catching.
Here's Manny Machado batting at .217 in the spring. He is 5 out of 23, playing in his 12th game. And batting in that number 2 spot today. The Orioles today, as Machado goes after the first pitch and he pops it up, a breaking ball. Pedro Florimon, the shortstop, calls. And Machado's out on 1 pitch and 1 away. The Orioles have their final split squad day today. The Orioles, half of the team anyway, is here playing Minnesota. The other half is in Clearwater playing the Phillies. And in Clearwater, Nolan Reimold is DHing. Steve Pearce is playing in the outfield, and Ryan Flaherty's playing shortstop. So Buck Showalter has his troops split up. But this is the final day that'll happen. From here on out, it's just 1 game leading up to opening day. And the final official exhibition game, amazingly enough, is 2 weeks from today on Easter Sunday.
Right, sure is. So you're going to be seeing the Orioles regulars out there more frequently, playing back-to-back games, maybe 3 games in a row. And it's getting to be crunch time now, so they've got to get their bodies adjusted to playing every day.
Nate McLouth takes ball 1. Nate batting at .273 in the spring. He is 6 out of 22. 4 of those 6 hits have been doubles. That's Worley walk Roberts to lead off, and he deals high to Nate McLouth, so 2-0. Okay, Mike, you mentioned that the playing time will begin to increase for the regulars who will be on this team. And Buck Showalter told the reporters before the game that beginning Tuesday with that road game, you're going to see regulars making those trips.
Right.
He said they're going to dig out those gray road pants out of the equipment room,
Yeah.
and they haven't needed them yet, most of these guys.
No, Buck certainly takes care of his regular players, and I mean, as well as it should be. I mean, playing at home, you know, in front of the home crowd here in Sarasota, but now it's time to turn it up a notch and get them out on the road and get them used to the day-to-day grind, because like you just mentioned, it is right around the corner, opening day.
Ryan Roberts on at first, now with 1 down, a leadoff walk. They're going to throw to first. Vance Worley keeping him close. Worley was a 3rd-round pick of the Phillies back in 2008. He's from Sacramento in California, and he pitched at Long Beach State. And the Phillies needing outfield help, in particular in center field. And they made the deal for Ben Revere. And they gave up Worley and a minor league prospect as well. Pulled foul behind Ron Johnson, who is coaching at first today. Wayne Kirby with the other squad in Clearwater. And the AAA manager is here today. We'll be visiting with Ron during our telecast today. Here's Bobby Dickerson, the 3rd base coach. Now 2-2 on McLouth, batting with Roberts at first and 1 down. Ground ball, a second double play ball. Carroll to Florimon, back to first, and he just got there in time. The return throw, McLouth out, and the inning ends. We'll head to the second in Sarasota. Birds and Twins, no score. Well, you can relive the Orioles' dramatic 2012 season with the new DVD, The Buckle Up Birds, an Underdog Story. It's available now at Orioles.com/buckleup. The DVD includes both in-game footage and off-the-field interviews from key moments throughout the year. Dramatic wins to each of the Orioles' 6 Legend Celebration Series unveilings. And additional bonus content includes footage from the Orioles' post-game wild card celebration. So order your copy now. The Buckle Up Birds DVD. Just get online, Orioles.com/buckleup. Speaking of buckle up, there's the skipper.
Amazing video, by the way. Oh, goodness. What a magical year that was. I mean, I was watching some highlights of last year while I was eating lunch this afternoon, and they were showing all the statue unveilings and, of course, the success of the Orioles, but just seemed like everything intertwined.
Morneau, a high fly ball to right field. Dickerson can't see it. Now he picks it up, going towards the corner. He makes the catch. Dickerson lost it. It's overcast, but definitely there's a glare here today.
Right, well, he doesn't know where it is, and he had to cover a lot of ground quickly. Just shows you his speed right there. Obviously, he'd rather catch it a little bit cleaner than that, but recorded the out.
He does have sunglasses, but as you see, they're on his hat. Well, there's definitely a glare with the overcast. Here's WILKIN. RAMIREZ, who is DHing, first ball swinging, fouls it back, but got a piece of Weeder's mask.
I know we had talked about, you know, fly balls in spring training, and the wind's always blowing, and the sky always seems high. Well, I was talking to Nate McLouth the other day about it, and he said what's difficult is that the stadiums are so low that the ball is automatically up in the sky, so they have a hard time picking it up, just to add to the trouble with the wind and everything. So he can't wait to get back into a big league stadium, make it a little bit easier.
Two and one on RAMIREZ, 27-year-old out of the Dominican Republic. Fouls it back in 2-2. So Johnson attacking the hitters here. He's retired the first 4. And we'll get a look at the crowd on St. Patrick's Day. Steve, 50 minor league wins over 165 minor league appearances. 2-2 is fouled back.
Well, you can tell right now that Steve Johnson feels really good about his fastball. He's moving it in and out. Really has great command with it this afternoon.
And it's low ball 3, an off-speed pitch. Johnson worked a scoreless inning on February 23rd, then 2 scoreless innings on February 26th. His last official appearance, 2 innings, 2 runs on March the 5th. And he got it. Good-looking breaking ball. And RAMIREZ swings through and 2 men down. Second strikeout for Steve Johnson.
When we talk about repeating the delivery, everything looks the same out of Steve Johnson's hand. A little bend in this ball, a little slider, and he swings right through it to get the strikeout.
The 2 down. Here's Chris PARMELEE. He's playing in right field. He checks his swing. No, he doesn't. In the field to third. He went too far. Hemmel over there at third base. And taken high by PARMELEE. PARMELEE, a first baseman by trade, but with Morneau back, Twins are giving him a look in the outfield.
I know the Twins are pretty happy that Justin Morneau is healthy again. And he's been swinging the bat very well here in spring training. Just getting back from the World Baseball Classic where he swung the bat very well there too.
PARMELEE, a first-round pick for the Twins in 2006. Now in his 3rd season, Johnson deals 1-2, and it's a little bit high. 2 strikeouts for Steve. He's retired all 5 batters. Mentioned his strikeout totals in the minor leagues. He averaged about 8.5 strikeouts for every 9 innings he worked.
That's impressive.
And the 2-2 is just outside ball 3.
Great spot right there by Steve Johnson. And working the top of the zone, then tries to dot this fastball down and away, and he does, but just not in the umpire's favor. Great pitch, great pitcher's pitch.
3-2 is low ball 4, and there's a 2-out walk. First base runner allowed by Steve Johnson. There's Mike Griffin. He is acting as the pitching coach for this squad today. Rick Adair is with the other squad in Clearwater. Here's Joe Benson. Johnson to the stretch for the first time, and he deals high 1-0. Joe Benson, a second-round pick of the Twins in 2006. He is out of Joliet, Illinois. But the question is he a Blues brother?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure he's a fan.
646 minor league games. This is his 17th game this spring for the Twins. Bouncer to third. Machado has it. He'll go to second for the force on Parmelee. And Johnson works out of it. A two-out walk and one left. Mid-second here in Sarasota. St. Patrick's Day. No score. No score. There have been two base runners in this game, both on walks. And the Orioles come to bat here in the second. Well, of course, Oriole fans are wondering, how's Nick Markakis doing, and when is he going to get back on the field? Well, let's ask him. Nick Markakis joins us. Nick, how are you doing?
What's up,
when are you going
guys?
to get back on the field? Hey, there you are. I see you in the dugout. How are you? Good to see you, Nick.
If it was up to me, I'd play today. But it's not. So, I'm feeling good. Just taking it slow day by day, and every day is a better day, so that's a good thing.
Now, when you returned to Baltimore earlier in the week to see the spine specialist, you got what is the best diagnosis from him, correct?
Yeah, the way he put it was probably what did they say? It was a mild case of it, so he didn't seem too concerned, and it was not what I wanted to hear, but what I wanted to hear. I didn't want to be injured, but if I was, I'll take that any day. So, it's just a matter of healing up and getting better.
All right, so we know for certain it is a bulging disc. It's not a herniated disc. And did they explain to you the difference?
I don't know. I guess there's 1,000 different names, I guess you can call it, just like a sports hernia. There's different kind of hernias, but yeah, it's just a slight bulge in my disc. I got a little pressure pushing up against my spine, and no pain coming down my arms or numbness. So that's a good thing. It's just a matter of time of getting under control, and like I said, day by day, every day is better. So that's a good thing.
Hey, Nick, Mike Bordick here. Are they letting you do anything as far as training? I can understand maybe not keeping you away from swinging the bat and throwing and stuff like that, but anything to keep your body in shape?
Yeah, I'm still. I get my leg workouts. I ride the bike and stretch, a lot of stretching, and just trying to stay loose and keeping my body feel good. But yeah, a lot of days on the bike right now of riding and just trying to keep in shape as much as I can.
Now, are you going to have to go on like a progression with your throwing and hitting as well, or do you think you're going to be able to just jump back into it and maybe if you feel a little tired, then stop?
I'm going to definitely have to do progression, work my way back into it, but, it won't be as intense as, preparing for spring training since, I did it for a couple weeks before my injury. So, I'm not where I want to be right now, but, it shouldn't take that long once I get started.
You've played in 4 games so far, and you have 12 at-bats. What is your goal in spring as Wieters hits it in the right field for a base hit? So Wieters has the game's first hit. How many at-bats might you need to make sure your timing is where it needs to be for regular season play?
I think you can go based on what I did last year. I'd say 20 to 25 at-bats. And, the good thing is I'm halfway there. I've already seen pitching. I've already stepped in the box. I've already been in the outfield. So, I got a feel for it right now. So it shouldn't take that long to get back in the swing of things. I think the biggest thing is just throwing. I need to start throwing sometime soon. And, I talked to the doc on Monday, and, we'll see what he says as far as that. But I'd like to start throwing as soon as I can just to get my arm back in.
Chris Davis on his 27th birthday with a base hit in the right field. Wieters will go to second and hold there. So back-to-back singles, and in the scoreless game, the Orioles with 2 on and none out in the second inning. So right now, Nick, are you still on the medication? Is that the process that you're in now?
Today was my last day. I end that today, and after I'm done taking the medication, the doc said he wanted to talk to me just to see where I am. But, it's just based on how I feel and how my body feels. There's not much else you can do for it besides let it rest as much as you can until it starts feeling better, and then, based on how I feel.
And from what you were told, this is a 3-week injury?
Yeah, they say 2 to 3 weeks from the time of initial injuries. And at the time I got the MRI and saw the doctor, it was about, 8 days. So, I had a week behind me, and, we're a week ahead now. And, probably the next 4 or 5 days, hopefully I'll be able to start getting things rolling.
Hey, Nick, you've seen a turnaround, I think, starting last year with really the depth of the organization. They called up so many guys that contributed, to the playoff run the Orioles had. I mean, this year's no different. I look in spring training, and you see all these outfielders, Connor Jackson, Lou Ford. I mean, are you impressed with the depth that you're seeing here in spring training?
Well, I think that's what you need to complete a whole season. You guys saw last year we used a lot of guys, and, it's not just 25 guys that gets you through a season. It's, a combination of a lot of guys. And, we have depth. We have the guys, and, we're prepared.
J.J. Hardy with the pop-up. Pedro Florimon, the shortstop, called, but the pitcher took it for the out. Now, most players, Nick, that we talk to feel spring training is too long anyway. And Adam Jones joining in with you there. Yeah. Hi, Adam. How are you, Adam? Adam back with the team. You wouldn't want to be out with an injury as you are, but spring training games get monotonous. Is this something where you may, in a roundabout way, actually be fresher for opening day because of it?
I hope so. Spring training is long, especially this year with the WBC. It's, spring in general is for the pitchers to get ready. It's not so much for the hitters. I think guys, if you ask guys say they need, probably 2 weeks of getting at bats and seeing pitches and BP. So it's, a lot easier for the position players as opposed to pitchers who, they need to get their arms in shape. They need to face hitters and get into a groove.
And I guess the key for you is not to be too anxious to come back too soon where you might re-injure it or make it worse.
Absolutely. Anytime you're dealing with the spine, you don't want to push the issue, and you just want to make sure you're fully recovered before you go out there. And like I said, I'm close. I'm getting there, and I'm getting antsy, but I'm going to take it slow because I know. I know what part of the body we're dealing with, and you don't want to do too much to it.
Well, Nick, we wish you the best. We appreciate the visit. Of course, April 2nd is the key, and hopefully in Tampa you'll be in the lineup. Hopefully in right field. Hey, even if you DH, as long as you're back on the field, right? No,
that's it. I just want to be out there, but the main thing is I want to be healthy. I need to get healthy for 162 games, not opening day. So, we'll see where it takes me, and we'll go from there.
All right, Nick, well, we appreciate the visit. Best of luck, and we're all hoping you're back for the opener.
Thanks, guys.
All right, that's Nick Markakis. Nice enough to join us from the Orioles bench. with a visit from Adam Jones as well. 1-2 the count on Connor Jackson. 2 on and 1 out. And there's a base hit to left field. Wieters heading to third. He'll be held by Bobby Dickerson. The Orioles will have him loaded with 1 down. 3 singles in the inning.
Connor Jackson continuing to impress. Rips a line drive to left field there.
For Wieters, the single to right field. Davis, the single to right field. And Connor Jackson, the single to left field off Vance Worley. And that brings up Chris Dickerson. 6 out of 23 in the spring. Last year with the Yankees, a couple of home runs and 5 RBIs. And the Orioles with a chance to get on the board first. And a strike taken by Dickerson. The Yankees elected not to bring Dickerson back. And the Orioles side, I mean, he's just one of the players trying to make an impact here. Here's how deep the talent has been in the spring. 35 different pitchers have been in games. 45 different position players have been in games, including minor league call-ups.
Right. Well, that's great. I'll tell you what, one of the best things the Orioles ever did is get back here to Sarasota and get closer to their minor league complex where they can get good looks at some of the younger players and give them opportunities to play in front of Buck Showalter. And there have been a lot of guys in camp, obviously, and Buck taking full advantage of the full roster, spring training roster. Everybody getting a good look.
The Orioles have 6 minor leaguers here today for this game. 2-1, check swing, it's low, and appeal to third. He did not swing. And 3-1 on Dickerson. Dickerson will turn 31 on April 10th. He's been in pro ball since 2003. The Orioles are his 4th major league organization. He's been through Cincinnati, Milwaukee, the Yankees, and now the O's. The bases loaded, 1 down, and 3-1 on Chris Dickerson. And a bouncer foul down the first base side. And Buck Showalter talking about the regulars who he knows will be on his team and will be in the lineup. Their at-bats and plate appearances will begin to grow. And with Nick Markakis sidelined, that gives opportunities now for guys like Dickerson and Lou Ford, who's on deck. Count is full at 3-2 on Dickerson. Time requested at the plate. Dickerson has 1 spring training RBI. It came on a solo home run.
A great opportunity for him right here.
Vance Worley, 18 big league wins. He was 18-13 over 3 separate seasons with the Phillies. And the 3-2 pitch is popped up foul wide of third. Over is Escobar. Runs out of room. It's back in the crowd. As the sun has broken through for the first time today. Dickerson is in camp as a non-roster player. As you're going to look at the sky. The weather is beginning to warm up. It's supposed to get into the 80s as the week progresses. It has been cool by Florida standards. 3-2 is fouled off. Good at bat for Chris Dickerson. For Worley, this is just his 4th spring start. He had pitched only 8 innings total coming into this game. Another 3-2 to Dickerson. And a slow tapper towards second base. Charging is Carroll. The race is on. No throw. And there's an infield hit and RBI for Dickerson. Wieters comes in the score, and the Orioles grab a 1-0 lead.
Chris Dickerson gets rewarded for such a good at bat. Fought off some tough pitches. Another tough pitch that he had topped, but showing his speed. Beating out the base hit. And picking up an RBI as well. Here's a look at it right here. Tops it. Worley giving chase now. Can't, just out of his reach. Carroll making the wise decision not to flip it. Dickerson's speed gets him that knock.
So 4 singles. Little ball has given the Orioles a 1-0 lead. And here is Lou Ford, who is lighting it up in his spring appearances. This season last year with the Orioles, 3 home runs and 4 RBIs. He is batting .500 in spring training. And folks, that's over 11 games.
Yeah, that's a hard 500. A lot of extra base hits in there.
Often it's 0-2. He leads the Orioles in spring base hits with 13. He has 3 doubles, a couple of home runs, and 3 RBIs. Behind in the count, 0-2 with the bases loaded and 1 down. And a good take just off the plate. And Worley deals, slow roller toward shortstop. Florimon, the only play is at first. He gets forward, but another run comes in as Chris Davis crosses the plate. RBI ground out for Ford, and a 2-0 Orioles lead. So even though he was down in the count, he put it in play and was able to get a run home. And as you look around Ed Smith Stadium, back to the top of the lineup. Here's Brian Roberts for his second at-bat. He walked his first at-bat. Brian has 10 hits in the spring, and he has 3 multi-hit games already. And he takes a pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
Well, Brian's looked really good at the plate. I think that was his biggest concern coming into spring training, wanting to be as comfortable as he could as soon as possible. He put in a lot of hours trying to get his swing perfected, and you know, he's a perfectionist when it comes to that, so he's going to put in a lot of extra work in the backfield and fight through the frustration. There's a good look at Jim Presley right there, who's been by his side pretty much the whole way, and I think right now to this point Brian is real happy with his swing.
Fouls it back, and it's 1-2. He was in the last hitting group in batting practice. He was in a group with J.J. Hardy and Manny Machado. And your former teammate, Brady Anderson, took batting practice in the group, and he took over. He had about 7 balls out of the ballpark, and Brian is saying, "You got to be kidding me. You're an old man. You're hitting it out."
Well, a lot of us old coaches, we put our names in the hat. He drew his name out, so he got to take BP with the big one.
Line drive off the glove of Morneau. The race is on. The flip is in time as Worley got over there. Nicely done on both ends by Morneau to stop it and Worley to get there. O's get 2 and Strand 2 will head to the 3rd in Sarasota. 2-0 O's. Orioles with a 2-0 lead. Steve Johnson has allowed just one base runner through 2. As Minnesota comes to bat in the 3rd, and a pleasure now to welcome in the Orioles hitting coach Jim Presley. And Jim, 2 weeks to go on the camp. Where do you feel your hitters are right now? Still work to do, or they're coming along?
No, there's some work to do. Really, we don't start centering up the ball until we get about 45 or 50 at bats, and we kept track of that last year. So we're at 30, 35. So another 3 or 4 ball games, and I think we'll get going. And when they start playing every day, that last 10 days, then it comes on.
As the coach who is watching these hitters and working with these hitters day in and day out, how difficult is it for you to learn and know all of the hitters? Because obviously some of them come along more slowly than others.
Yeah, like I said, it's just different for everybody else. What I want to try to do is we need to be peaking April the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And right now, I'm not worried about it. Like I said, it takes 40 to 50 at-bats to kind of get it going and start centering up the ball. Those last 10 days are very important for a hitter in spring training.
Right, Press, this is Mike Bordick here.
Hey, Mike.
How you doing? Getting their work in is critical. I'm so impressed, actually, with how hard these guys are going about their business on a daily basis. I mean, you have a great mindset going for these guys. And what are your thoughts on this group?
Well, we got Adam back today, and he'll start playing if we can get Scope back and get that World Baseball Classic out of the way and get our team ready to go to, go to Tampa Bay. I think we'll be all right. We've got the same ball club. We should be pretty good. We just got to pitch and play defense. And for me, the hitting comes 3rd or 4th. And you still got to pitch and play defense to win an American League East.
And a defensive show put on there by Nate McLouth, who ran down that soft liner by Escobar. Here's Pedro Florimon, the one-time Oriole prospect, batting with 1 out and nobody on. Jim, as you look ahead to this year, last year, quite successfully, the Orioles utilized the home run. Is that okay with you, or would you prefer they, maybe hit a few more doubles to the gap to get runs in?
Well, I know our pitch selection, we've harped on that quite a bit the first 3 weeks, and we've got to get better at that. We really do. The 3-run home run, when it comes, it's a luxury. I don't like to live and die by it because most of the time you die by it, but in the American League East, you got to be able to swing the bat. We got to put runners in scoring position and get those. Well, we've stressed more situational hitting this spring than we ever have, and I think we'll be better at it. We'll try to score some more runs other than hitting a home run.
Is there any of the hitters who really have surprised you at how good they look so soon?
You know what? Nate McLouth looks good. Manny looks good. Robert, he looks good. I'll tell you what, Davis is coming along pretty good. I know we've started playing more this past 3 or 4 days, and he started swinging them back good. Lou Ford swung it. The guy who really surprises me is Connor Jackson and Steve Pierce. Those guys have really swung the bats well this first 3 weeks.
Well, Steve Pierce has a home run in Clearwater. The other Orioles squad with a 1-0 lead on Roy Halladay and the Phillies. So Steve Pierce with the home run, that's his 4th to lead the team.
Yeah, him and Connor Jackson, they've been going at it pretty good, swinging the bat. Connor gets the base hit earlier that last inning, and they're all vying for a spot, and they're playing hard and they're sticking their nose in there.
The organization has done a tremendous job at adding to the depth, and not only depth, Jim, but quality depth. How does that competition play itself out with the players? Do they feel it, or do they just try to take care of themselves?
No, I mean, you know it's there. You know what you got to do. You know what you got to do every day. It's a grind for somebody who's trying to make a ball club in spring training, and it's all about competition. And guys that don't like competition usually fade through the middle of spring training. But we've got 3 or 4 guys that just keep going at it every day, and they're veterans. They know the gig. They know what they're trying to do, and it'll play out till the end of March. And I know Buck and his staff, and we'll sit down and talk about it with Dan Duquette, and then they'll make some decisions.
Hey, Press, I know in this day of baseball, they're constantly shifting on hitters, and the Orioles have some big pull hitters. Chris Davis, Matt Wieters, I guess by the book, is a pull hitter. Is there going to be anything done maybe to try to beat those shifts? You definitely don't want to take the bat out of guys' hands because they're great power hitters, but anything different that they might do just to offset that shift a little bit?
Well, I won't let out all the secrets, but we've been working on a couple of things the past couple of days, and we've kind of stressed to 4 or 5 of our guys, if they do shift, this is what we're going to do. And we'll wait and see when the season starts. I don't want to, say anything right now, but we've been working on it, and we're going to see if it works.
Well, we won't tell anybody. You can tell your Masson family and Oriole fans audience.
I tell you what we've been doing is I've seen Carlos Pena do this quite a bit the past 4 or 5 years. When they shift the left-handed hitter, that whole side of the infield is left open. All you got to do is square around, bunt the ball hard at the third base position, and get it on the grass and get it past the pitcher, and you got a base hit every time. You need to do it, swing, bunt at a strike. Then if he throws ball 1, now you're in the hitter's count. So that's one of the things that we've worked on. Matter of fact, we worked on it yesterday, and we worked on it today after BP on field 4. So it's something that we've made them conscious about. If you do that 2 or 3 times, they're going to have to make an adjustment and bring that third base shortstop back over to defend some of that stuff.
I would love to see Matt Wieters get a bunt single. And Wieters, of course, they do shift to Tampa Bay in particular. That would be fun to watch, Matt leg out a base hit.
Well, him and Davis. And, they also, Friday, they shifted him the other day. So there's going to be about 4 or 5 guys that they're going to do that on. And if we can put that ball, especially on that turf, that ball just jumps off of that turf and put it towards the third base position and make that shortstop come over. Sometimes if you bunt it hard enough, it may be a double. You never know.
Right.
Aaron Hicks, the leadoff hitter, is up with Florimon on at first after being hit by a pitch. And Hicks has worked the count to 3-2, his second at bat. Steve Johnson works here in the 3rd inning. Florimon goes on 3-2, and it's hit towards shortstop. Hardy to second, and out there, back to first, and safe on the return. As John Hirschbeck thought that Aaron Hicks beat the relay, that looked close, but the Twins get the call, so the inning continues.
Almost looked like they had it backwards right there. It looked like he was safe at second and out at first.
Looked like he was out at first and safe at second.
Good heads-up play right there. Brian Roberts calling for the ball on the hit and run.
And J.J. right there, he knew that we might get that force there and still turn the double play.
Yeah, very heady play up the middle. A couple veteran guys there. It's going to be fun to watch them play and communicate out in the field. I mean, a lot of shortstops won't give that ball up with that runner bearing down on second base.
So, Jim, 2 weeks to go in spring training beginning today. When does everybody start getting anxious to get going and play the games that count?
With the long spring, I thought it would get to the point about right now to where you'd be kind of, wanting to get out of here. But it's still, we've got some work to do. Bucks kept some of our starters out for a reason, to kind of get them prepared for these last 2 weeks, and then we had Jones going to the World Baseball Classic. So I mean, we've still got a lot of work to do. We've got to refine some things and get these at bats during these games. That means so much if we, especially the last 2 weeks.
Well, Jim, we appreciate the visit. We know how hard you work. And by the way, who's that guy you were giving a tryout in your last batting practice group today? 11. That guy looked pretty good.
Yeah, he was swinging the bat, especially the 3rd round. Bucks. I'm giving him the clock. He wants to know what we're doing as far as throwing over. But, yeah, after that 1st round, he looked pretty good. I told him, hey, man, you need to make a comeback. And he says, well, hey, what do I need to do? I said, get on top of the ball and hit some line drives. And that last round, he was hitting rockets.
Well, you and I tried to start a rumor on Twitter with that. Very minimal response to Brady in the cage. I guess they don't believe us.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, great guy, great player when he played. But he's such in great shape. He's 48, 9 years old, and he can still swing the bat like that. I told those guys in that group, I said, you got a 49-year-old swinging the bat better than you guys.
And he won hardest hit.
So,
all right, well, Jim, the skipper looks like he needs you, so we appreciate the visit. Thanks so much for joining us.
Okay, Jim. All right, Mike.
See you, Jim.
All right, bye.
It's Jim Presley. There's a bouncer left side. Tough play for Hardy deep in the hole. The long throw and safe. There's the call at first. And Jamie Carroll legs it out.
Nice try right there by J.J. Hardy. Just a quick plant and throw. Ball right on line, but speed by Carroll beats it out.
So the first hit off Steve Johnson was now at 52 pitches. 31 strikes, 21 balls. Working here in the 3rd inning. Here's Ryan Domet, who lined out to left field his first at-bat. Orioles with a 2-0 lead. Minnesota trying to mount a 2-out rally here. There's an off-speed pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Three base runners off Steve Johnson, a walk in the second, a hit batsman, and an infield hit here in the third. And a high fly ball, shallow left center field. McLouth and Ford. It's going to be Ford, and the left fielder has it for the out, and the side is retired. So a couple of men left mid-third in Sarasota. The Orioles with a 2-0 lead. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Sarasota. There's so much to see and do in Sarasota on Florida's Gulf Coast. Go beyond the stadium to the #1 beach in the USA. Visit number1beach.com. And a lot of fans from Baltimore come down and watch games here at Ed Smith Stadium and St. Patrick's Day, of course. The big celebration in town. A lot of the fans decked out here at the ballpark. And when the team's on the road, then they can go to the beach, go to the pool, maybe play golf. Even though it's been cool by Sarasota standards, it still gets up into the low 70s even on bad days, so you can still do outdoor things.
Oh, definitely.
Manny Machado will lead off for the Orioles in the third. Nate McLouth and Matt Wieters will follow. The other squad with the 1-0 lead in the third at Clearwater, the Orioles against the Phillies. And Machado takes a strike after bluffing a bunt. Steve Pearce has a solo home run. Wilson Betemit is 2 for 2 in that game so far. And a bounce at a shortstop. Charging is Florimon. He boots it. And that'll be an error all the way as Florimon booted it. And Machado was on with leading off here in the third. Well, the special green caps being worn today by the Orioles as part of the Club St. Patrick's Day Go Green Day presented by Waste Pro will be autographed and available for auction beginning today at Orioles.com/spring. Now, the proceeds from the auction will benefit Sarasota's Monte Marine Laboratory Animal Hospitals. The bidding will end next Sunday at 6 o'clock, so show your support for injured marine animals today. Get online, Orioles.com/spring, and make your bids. And then there's a double play ball. Florimon plays this one to Carroll and back to first, and the clock is out 6-4-3, and that erases the error and 2 men down. Sharply hit, but right at the shortstop, Pedro Florimon.
Well, Florimon makes that error, and then, as all good players do, if they mishandle a ball, they want that ball hit right back to him, and this one he fields flawlessly to turn the double play. Pedro Florimon, one-time Baltimore Oriole, moved on over to the Twins when he was left off, put on the waiver wire. Twins picked him up.
Here's Matt Wieters, who singled leading off the second, came around the score. And he takes low. In that split squad game at Clearwater, Jason Hamill is making that start. And he has pitched 2 scoreless innings so far and 1 base hit. And Roy Halladay, who started for the Phillies, pitched just 1 inning and came out of the game. There's a lot of rumors that he might be injured. And he is out of the game after 1 inning. Orioles with a 1-0 lead in the 3rd now. Wieder's base hit is 11th of the spring. He has been just outstanding in the spring games. He is now batting .500, 11 for 22. He has an 8-game hitting streak now with his base hit in the 2nd inning. And he's looking for his 3rd multi-hit game. And a bloop towards the left side. Florimon with the dive as it hung up there long enough, and the shortstop puts it away. So an error but none left. We're through 3 in Sarasota. Matt Wieters and the Orioles with a 2-0 lead. And we hope you can join us again this Saturday. More O's spring training action as the Orioles welcome the Phillies to town. Our coverage on MASN HD will begin at 1 o'clock. And of course, you can log on to MASNsports.com all spring long for all the daily news and notes from Orioles spring training. Steve Molesky has joined the MASNsports.com crew. He is covering the game in Clearwater. He has just sent out on Twitter that the Phillies have tied the game 1-1 on a Ben Revere RBI double. Jason Hamill has allowed a run. Jason Pridey had the ball in the glove and couldn't hold on, according to Steve. It was an eyewitness account.
Right there.
There's Justin Morneau leading off. First ball swinging, bounces to first. Chris Davis will flip to Steve Johnson, who gets there for the out. And again, first ball swinging, 1 down. Chris Davis has looked really good defensively at first base this spring, and I know that was a concern, especially from fans. Watching how well Mark Reynolds had played there late in the season last year, but Chris has done everything that he needs to do, and he looks real good defensively.
Yeah, he sure has. He's put the time and the work in. Him and Bobby Dickerson on the backfields. I mean, Bobby Dickerson's firing balls at him with a pitching machine. You know, working on picks in the dirt, getting himself in the right position. Head position's the most important thing for Chris Davis at first. Trying to get his eyes behind the ball on every throw, every ball. Even ground balls.
Broken bat fly ball, shallow center. Nate McLouth, a long run, diving try, and he can't get it, and it falls in there for a base hit. Heading to second is Ramirez, and he'll have a bloop double. So that's one of those you got to make a decision. Do you try for the diving grab? If you do, it might get by you, and that's what happened. But a real good effort by McLouth.
Well, it sure was a great effort. Turns on the Jets there. Just comes up a little bit short, but another great effort by Nate McLouth. I wonder with that wind, I'm sure he had a beat on it, or he probably wouldn't have left his feet, but that wind just kept pushing it down, pushing it down.
And the runner at second base, and here is Chris Parmelee, who worked a walk his first at bat. Over but low, 1-0. There's Steve Johnson working fourth inning. He had 5 total innings in the major league games. There's the pitch count. He's at 58, and there's nobody getting loose behind him. Steve stretching it out here today. Off-speed pitch for a strike. He has amazing command with his off-speed stuff.
He sure does. I mean, really, that's the separator, and that's why you see so many swing and misses and the soft contact. I mean, just constantly mixing up his pitches. Of course, Matt Wieters is the master of working his staff. He knows exactly what they have and what's working on that given day, and he utilizes it right to the max.
As the roster in some ways is beginning to come together by the players who are no longer here, including Dylan Bundy, who was optioned yesterday. He'll begin his season at Bowie, which was expected and now is official. 2-1 on Parmelee. Just missed inside, ball 3.
You know, we talked about the competition at the beginning of the show, about all the pitchers and how they're competing for the 5th spot and maybe a potential spot in the bullpen. And, you know, when you look at the final 12 games that the Orioles have to play, a lot of them are against, you know, interdivision rivals. So they're going to be facing the Red Sox, Tampa Bay, the Yankees a few times. And you're not going to see Hamilton or Miguel Gonzalez, you know, pitch a lot of those games. So you're going to give the guys that are battling for that 5th spot extra opportunities to compete against, you know, their own division, which is going to be very helpful for Buck Showalter and Rick Adair when they have to make that final decision.
And again, here's the benefit of having the minor league complex in the same town. It's not on this property here, but it's a 15-minute drive from this complex. So Wei-Yin Chen and Miguel Gonzalez, Jason Hamill's pitching today because that's against the National League team. But they could just make the drive over to Twin Lakes and pitch against an A-ball team, or regardless, it doesn't matter, to get their work in.
Yeah, and when you have veteran pitchers.
There's a base hit to left field. Ramirez had the hold to make sure that got through, so he'll go to third. And on at first with a base hit is Chris Parmelee. Runners on the corners with 1 down in the 4th.
And we have pitchers that have been around a little bit. They know how to get their work, and they know how to lift their level of competition and anxiety when they get out on the mound. So their preparation is at a high level. So, you know, if there's concern, oh, they're just pitching against minor league guys, they definitely try to put themselves in a big league type of mindset.
There's Chris Tillman along with Brian Mattis on the bench. Brian was outstanding in his last outing, making a start. Jake Arrieta leads the Orioles in innings pitched in the spring. He has 11 1/3. He also has 3 more innings he pitched against Team Spain, which does not count in that total. There's Joe Benson, 1st and 3rd, 1 down. Breaking ball, Benson there for a strike, and it's 0-1. Benson bounced into a force play to end the 2nd inning. He has 8 hits in the spring, winning a lot of at-bats. He really has 49 official at-bats in the spring. 0-1 is right there for a strike, and here's how Buck Showalter has divided it up. Jake Arrieta leading the staff. He has 4 spring starts. Then that group of 2 starts each, and the group here with 1 each. Steve Johnson today making his 2nd. So these through yesterday. A lot of pitchers being given looks. Up and in. 1-2. The Orioles use the phrase, it's about opportunity. And in large part, that's what this camp has been about, even though a team coming off a 93-win season, there really was very little roster turnover in terms of the players who you know are going to play, but still, they're spreading it out. Here's the 1-2. It's hit towards shortstop. Hardy backhands to Roberts. 1 back to first, and there's the double play, and that ends the inning. So Steve Johnson gets that double play ball. A double, a single, 1 man left. We're in mid-4th in Sarasota. 2-0 O's. The Junior Orioles Dugout Club is Birdland's best value in family entertainment. Kids 14 and under get tickets to 10 games, plus an exclusive club hat, membership card, backpack, and more. It's all for just $20. Members even get exclusive giveaway items at each game, and family and friends tickets start as low as $6 and a chance to upgrade seats to the lower deck. To find out more, 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com/dugout club. And here's a Dugout Club member. In fact, he's in the dugout. Here's Dawson Bordick. He must know somebody to get a good seat like that.
Yeah, he better be behaving himself down there.
Doesn't look like he's doing anything. Here's Chris Davis on his birthday, a base hit and a run scored. His first at bat. And a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. In that game in Clearwater, the O's and Phillies are tied 1-1. Hamill got out of that third with only the 1 run in. So Jason through 3 innings now, 1 run on 3 hits. And Steve Pearce with a solo home run.
That's odd, huh? Steve Pearce
is 4th to lead the Orioles in the spring. There's Jim Johnson getting loose in the Orioles bullpen. He and Darren O'Day both expected to pitch today. And a good take outside, 2-2. Worley has walked 1. He has not struck out a batter. And he's allowed 4 hits, and all 4 hits came in the second inning.
It's kind of amazing to me as you watch games, you know, throughout the big leagues. Some teams have huge shifts. Actually, most teams have big shifts on Chris Davis. Minnesota Twins playing virtually straight up on him.
Davis misses the fastball. He's down on strikes, 1 away.
His fastball kind of riding away. Chris Davis trying to fight it off. Just a little bit too much movement on there. It actually looked like his hand slipped off the bat.
Here's J.J. Hardy, who has just 1 hit this spring. He is 1 for 22. His base hit came on February the 27th. He's 0 for the month.
Well, I had a little talk with JJ, and I'm not going to even talk to him about actually hitting mechanics or anything because he is a much better hitter than I ever was. But I said, JJ, listen, you don't have to worry about this. I had one spring training, I hit 120, and in the regular season, I hit 220. So look, it could come up 100 points.
Oh, that's great experience. Hey, slugger, you want to bet just over the Mendoza line? You listen to me. But see, the beauty of this is it doesn't matter what he hits in the spring.
Exactly, it doesn't. And he's well aware of that. Of course, for just the feel-good part of spring training, he'd like to get a few more knocks. But he hit a nice line drive the other day. The left fielder made a great catch on it. So I think he's close, and he's probably a lot closer than he realizes to feeling good at the plate. He takes really good batting practices, and you know, his work ethic is like no other. So it's going to come, and J.J. Hardy's going to have a great offensive year.
2-2 on him. And it's down and in, ball 3. Well, Hardy last year, 22 home runs, and he considered that an off year. With 54 extra base hits, he batted .238. 3-2 is foul back.
But still real good power numbers. Which is really nice to have. You got a Gold Glove shortstop with and led the league for shortstops with home runs. So, very potent player.
Another 3-2 pitch to Hardy. High fly, deep left. That ball's going to go way back, and it is gone into the picnic area in left field. Well, Hardy worked the count, fouled off a couple of good pitcher's pitches, and there's his first spring home run. And he'll feel good about that. He was right on that pitch, and he didn't miss it.
He sure will. Great swing by J.J. Hardy right there. And you see him take a big blow. Sigh of relief. Finally get that home run out of the way and feel good about a great swing.
Matt Wieters there with a big smile. So his first spring home run, 3-0 O's. Here is Connor Jackson. There's a line drive down the left field line. That's a base hit. He got into a breaking ball. Jackson hustling around first, thinks about 2. But then puts on the brakes as Joe Benson fires it back in. Let's get a look at the J.J. Hardy home run.
Well, J.J. had a great at bat going, fouled off some real tough pitches. And you see this pitch up and in the Hardy zone. He back legs out. And that is a classic J.J. Hardy swing, head behind the ball. He deposited it up in the picnic area there. Great swing by J.J.
And you saw as soon as he made contact, he watched and then he looked away. He knew it was out. Well, J.J. hitting it out for the Orioles, their 24th spring training home run. Here's Chris Dickerson batting with Connor Jackson at first. So Jackson has a 2-hit game. There's a fly ball to center field chasing Aaron Hicks over towards left center field. Look at that ball carry all the way to the warning track. Breeze blowing out in that direction. Jackson back to first as Dickerson is retired for the second out. That's a good looking prospect. There's the breeze. It's picked up a little bit since the game has started, but really this has been the least amount of wind having an effect on the game since we've been here.
Yeah. It's been crazy windy down here. And there are a lot of outfielders that cannot wait to get out of this.
Here's Lou Ford, who drove in a run with a ground out his first at bat. Swings late at that pitch. And 0-1. Lou's now 36 years old, and he came back with a minor league contract. He's in camp as a non-roster player, trying to impress upon the Orioles that his skills could be beneficial on the regular season roster. There's a lot of it depends. Well, there's really two factors when you talk about the outfielders, and it's both health. Will Nolan Reimold be able to play the outfield? He's DHing again today in the game in Clearwater. He's expected to play the outfield hopefully by Thursday. Now, it was thought he was going to play in the outfield Tuesday, but Buck Showalter said before today's game they're going to give him a couple of extra days just to be certain. They don't want to rush him back and then have him aggravate the throwing shoulder. And, of course, Nick Markakis, who we already spoke with today with the bulging disc, will he be ready for the opening day roster? So those two eventualities will play it themselves out, and that will determine whether or not guys can make that opening day roster.
And you hope it's just ends up being a couple guys you're concerned about as you get closer to opening day. You never know really what happens.
Now Ford late on that pitch. He swung late and strikes out, but J.J. Hardy gets into one. His first spring home run deep to left field. The Orioles through 4 with a 3-0 lead. will be sold out to season plan holders, but the excitement of the first weekend series in 2013 continues. Saturday, April 6th and Sunday, April 7th. Come on out and celebrate your first weekend back in Birdland. Orioles against these Minnesota Twins. Don't miss your first chance to enjoy the sights, the sounds, and all the tastes of Utah Street. Welcome back the O's after a thrilling 2012 season. Tickets to opening weekend, call 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. So Johnson replaces Johnson. Here's the Orioles closer, Jim Johnson.
Yeah, Jim Johnson, of course, 51 saves last year, Rolaids relief pitcher of the year. And he's having himself an all right spring. Not many innings to this point, trying to build that strength up. Look at the numbers. Last year, opponent averaged 220, just 3 home runs. I mean, he was terrific all the way around. A great year by Jim Johnson.
Facing Eduardo Escobar. As the innings for the relievers will begin to increase as well. And taking a bit outside, 2-1. And again, another situation where the closer comes into the game in the 5th inning. As Buck Showalter wants him to face the best lineup that he can. 2-1 has bounced slowly towards second base. Roberts to his right. Will get it to first, and the foot stays on the bag. Good job by Chris Davis there. Saves the throwing error by Brian Roberts and 1 away.
Pretty good play there by both Roberts and Davis. Brian Roberts sets up and just has to make that quick snap throw because of the speed. Chris Davis kept his foot on there. It was close, but a nice stretch. See that athleticism by Chris Davis, and that's what's really so exciting out there. He's made diving plays. He is able to stretch, basically do the splits out there. So you know, a lot of excitement, obviously, from even his infield counterparts throwing across the field to have somebody that can really reach out there and save those errors.
Strike 1 to Pedro Florimon, who was hit by a pitch his first at bat. A real good outing by Steve Johnson here today. Goes 4 scoreless innings on 3 hits, couple of strikeouts and a walk. There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Jim Johnson first got in a game against Spain, the exhibition game on March the 6th. His first Grapefruit League game was on March the 10th. And he also pitched Thursday in our telecast on March the 14th. 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball hit the center field. Right there's Nate McLouth. He's got it for the out, and 2 men down.
Nate McLouth, he's real. I love talking to him because he's so candid and honest. And we've talked about the elements and stuff out here. But, you know, that play defensively for him, that's a bullet line drive. And he just makes a quick read, kind of freezes, and then he's able to adjust and make the play there and made it look very easy. But that's a tough play for a lot of outfielders, those line drives that you can't read if they're going to drop or go over his head. But nice job just to read the ball and make his adjustment.
Aaron Hicks takes ball 1. He has struck out and bounced into a force play. Can't catch up to that one. Great, like fooled by the pitch.
Yeah, great movement right there from Jim Johnson. That ball broke away from the left-handed batter about a foot. Good location too, down and away.
And it's inside. That'll move your feet.
Yeah, that'll help set up that outside corner. Unless he wants to rush another one back in there. He's got a couple options right here, and I'm sure Matt Waiters will put down the right finger.
And 2 on the count, 2 outs, the base is empty. And it's low ball 3. There's been 1 3-up, 3-down inning in this game. Steve Johnson retired the side in order in the first. And a strike. Fastball tail back in there.
You got a battle right here.
Aaron Hicks looking over a lot of pitches, and the count now full 3-2. And the payoff pitch is low ball 4. There's a 2-out walk. And the first base runner allowed by Jim Johnson. Darren O'Day is expected to pitch today, and we also expect to see Jair Jurgens in this game. He was also in the mix for that number 5 spot in the rotation. Here's Darren O'Day, Chris Robinson. Here's Jamie Carroll, who reached on an infield hit his last at-bat. Runner goes from first, throw to second by Wieters from his knees, not in time. So a huge jump, and Aaron Hicks steals the bag, his 3rd stolen base in the spring.
Yeah, Aaron Hicks showing his versatility. Nice at bat to draw that walk off Jim Johnson, but a tremendous jump at first base. You see him, he's already gone. And that's some pretty good speed right there. And Matt Wieters had to make that quick throw from his knees, still made it pretty close.
Here's the 0-1, a bouncer towards shortstop. Hardy charges, plays the in-between hop, and then gets it to first in time, and there's your inning. A 2-out walk and a man left. We're led to the bottom of the 5th in Sarasota on a beautiful Sunday, and a 3-0 Orioles lead. 3-0 Orioles lead as the Birds get set to bat in the 5th. Outstanding outing today for Steve Johnson, who joins us now by the Orioles bullpen. And Steve, tell us about your performance. What did you like? What didn't you like?
Well, I didn't like that I didn't get ahead of a lot of batters, but you know, I was able to come back and pound the zone a little bit after I got behind. But I was able to work on my slider, and it was pretty good today, and I was happy with that.
Where are you in terms of where you want to be once the regular season begins right now?
Well, my fastball command is still, you know, it's a little shaky. I was kind of effectively wild today, I think. But, you know, my curveball is really the only thing that was bad today. So I was pretty happy with that. You know, had a changeup working, slider was working, and my fastball came along later in the last 2 innings. So, you know, I don't know how far, you know, percentage-wise, but I'm pretty much good to go.
Yeah, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit with your fastball location. There might have been a couple up in the zone, but you were spotting it on the corners, working it pretty well. Hey, Steve, when you don't have like 1 or 2 pitches working for you that night, does Matt pick that up, or do you talk to Matt in the dugout and then go to work from there?
It's a little both. You know, he kind of sees how you're throwing a certain pitch, and then you go in the dugout and talk about it. And I mean, he kind of goes with whatever's working. So you notice my slider was a little good today, and you know, I was able to throw for strikes and throw it behind the count. So that and the changeup were big pitches to get me back in those counts.
And does that help you, Steve? You have tremendous command of your off-speed pitches, of those secondary pitches. Does that help you with the confidence, knowing that if that fastball maybe isn't there, you still could get your share of strikes?
Definitely. That's huge. It's what you work on, to be able to throw those off-speed pitches in there when you're behind. And I was able to do that with a couple pitches today with the changeup and slider. Sometimes it's even better with the curveball because it's so slow, but it wasn't there for me today. But it's definitely a big help when you're getting a little behind with your fastball, and just to throw that in there, kind of get your arm slot in the right place, and then go back with the fastball later in the count.
Well, you certainly are in the mix for a rotation spot. As you approach this spring, what is your approach? Are you just worrying about what you're doing and everything else will take care of itself?
Yeah, you know, you can only work on what you can control. So I'm trying to get my delivery just right and put up zeros. And, you know, we have a good competition going on. Everyone's going out there and doing well. I think everyone's had a pretty good start in their last time out. So it's definitely a good competition, and we'll see what happens.
It sure has been. I mean, it's been a lot of fun this spring just to watch you guys compete. I mean, you take the mound, you're competing against other team, but there is that inter-team competition, and all of you guys are throwing extremely well. Now what happens at the end of spring when Buck and Rick Adair make those final decisions? I mean, I have to believe that even you guys have all earned spots in the big leagues from my vantage point, but if a guy goes down, they still have to feel optimistic because of all the moves that they had made last year, and everybody contributed.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that if you go down to Norfolk, you know, there's only so many spots, so a couple people are going to go down, but we know from last year that, you know, anything can happen. They're not afraid to make a move and get you back up there. So we just know we got to keep, you know, doing well, and they're going to make the decision that we can only control, you know, what we do when we go out there. But, you know, we got a great competition. It's only going to help us going forward.
Yeah, and what is it like, Steve, to be part of that competition? When we came on the air today, Mike and I were talking about the 5th spot in the rotation. We count at least 6 capable guys who really, in any other year, would have the spot easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to be a part of it. I'm honored to be in the running for it, and you know, just excited. We're all going out there. We're battling every time out, and you know, everyone's having good outings. So you just got to keep doing it, and you know, Buck and Dan will make the decisions when it comes to it.
And we saw you went back to the bullpen after you came out of the game to throw a few more pitches. Is there a pitch count you wanted to be at today? Is that why you did that?
I was told I wanted to get to 75 pitches, so I think I was 8. I had 8 more to go to get there, so I just went out and threw 8 more fastballs and just got to that pitch count.
So you were too efficient today.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I wanted to be a little more efficient, I think, than I was, but you know, that'll work.
Well, Steve, we appreciate the visit. Keep it going. A real strong outing today, and we wish you the best as the remaining days dwindle in camp.
All right, thank you.
That's Steve Johnson, nice enough to join us by the Orioles bullpen. You see, he was told 75 pitches today, and he was too efficient, so they said go to the bullpen and keep throwing. 1-out walk to Machado. It's 0-2 on Nate McLouth. Casey Fiend is now in the game for Minnesota. Worley went 4 innings, allowed 3 runs. McLouth is not only 0 for 2, he has bounced into 2 double plays. And a called strike 3 in the outside corner. McLouth thought it was wide of the plate. And he is rung up. There's a second out in the inning. First strikeout for Fiend.
Take a look at this pitch. That's some paint. Hard to tell really if it's on the plate or not. Might be a better look. No, that pitch is not on the plate. I'll tell you what, I know in the last broadcast we were talking about Nate McLouth, and Jim Presley had mentioned that Nate is really looking good. Well, his approaches in batting practice have just been perfect. I mean, he isn't trying to do too much, concentrating on strikes.
Machado goes, and he's in with a stolen base.
So you know if he's questioning a call right now, that it's probably off the plate, and indeed that one was.
Real good jump.
It sure was. A little crash at the end, but in there safely. A snap throw high there. Pedro Florimon saving it from going to the outfield. Nice to see Manny Machado on the run, too. I mean, we talked about the team speed with the addition of Brian Roberts back in there. Nate McLouth can run, Manny Machado. So there's some opportunities for the Orioles to use some of that team speed to get guys in scoring position, as they did right there.
For the Orioles, it is their 18th stolen base as a team in spring training. Wieters swings through it. 1-1 the count on Matt, who's 1 out of 2. Machado with 2 outs now in scoring position. This ball's lifted to left field, chasing Joe Benson back, still going, and it carries out. There's a home run for Matt Wieters. He hits it out the opposite way, and you nearly had a collision there between Benson and Vance Worley, the pitcher who's out of the game, who's doing his running out there. But it didn't matter as the ball carried out. Wieters' 3rd spring home run. And he now has 12 spring RBIs.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much prettier than Matt Waiters taking a ball on the outside part of the plate. He gets extended and drives that ball. There's almost a near collision out there. That's coming out of the ball game, trying to get his running in, and Benson here. Whoa, look out! Almost a collision.
So Wieters is tied with Steve Pearce for the spring lead in RBIs. They each have 12. Wieters with 2 today, Pearce with 1. Pearce playing in the game in Clearwater. The Phillies lead the Orioles in that game 2-1, with the Orioles batting in the top of the 5th. And the 0-2 is lifted deep down the right side off the bat of Davis. That one is hooking foul. And it landed right where Steve Johnson was just standing when we talked to him. Chris Davis 1 out of 2, playing on his 27th birthday. And a swing and a foul back. When you played and you came to spring training, did it fall into place usually year after year the same thing when you got your timing down? Was it halfway through? Was it later than that?
You know, I think a lot of players are different. I always felt better at the beginning of spring training, and it was probably only because pitchers were throwing fastballs at the beginning, so I could get on a fastball a little bit better. But as soon as they started throwing curveballs and sliders and changeups and things, then I started going, you know, the up and down, the natural grind of a season. And I always told my managers, hey, let me play so I can get into that grind of where I'm feeling like I'm battling through stuff.
Davis down the line. That one fades foul. And again, found Vance Worley down there.
Because there are so many changes. Spring training games, you know, 95% of them are during the day. Then you go to, into the regular season, and all the games are at night. So you have to get used to that again, and the atmospheres are a lot different. So, you know, I was just a creature of wanting to get into that, I guess, frustration, I guess you would say, and then tend to try to work through things in spring training, never really relaxing, thinking I was ever going to come out of a slump. Just trying to work it at my craft and try to get into it as much as possible, and understanding that it's just such a long season that even if you feel good, there are going to be a lot of ups and downs through the course of a year.
That actually is Ryan Domit out there, who was catching. He's no longer in the game. Dan Rolfing is now catching, so Domit getting some running in. Another 1-2 to Davis. High fly ball left center field. Moving over is Benson and Hicks, and Benson has it for the final out. Orioles do get on the board again. A 1-out walk and a 2-run home run from Matt Wieters, his 3rd of the spring. O's with a 5-0 lead. Orioles with 2 in the second, 1 in the fourth, and 2 more in the fifth on the home run by Matt Wieters with a 5-0 lead. And a pleasure now to welcome in the Orioles AAA manager at Norfolk, Ron Johnson, who is with the big club today. And Ron, welcome. It's good to see you. Can you tell us what it was like for you last year where your phone rang, what was it, about 4 times a day? The Orioles needed players for the big club?
No, I think 4 would have been a little light. That was just before lunch.
Well, what was that like for you trying to manage a team, knowing that from day to day you had no idea who was going to be on that team?
Well, you know what? It wasn't really that hard. I mean, everybody makes a big deal out of it, which that's good. But I think you have to know your role. And I know what my role is, and I know what that role of that ball club is. And it's to make sure guys are ready to play up here. And then when it all comes together, and you end up winning 93 games going to the playoffs, it's a good deal.
Now, do you impress upon the players exactly that they need to take care of their business there because they never know when the need will come up?
You know, exactly. And, you know, the way Buck did stuff last year with hey, you know, if a guy was doing good, he got an opportunity. And I think that it feeds into your system. I didn't have to get those guys fired up to go out and play well on a certain day because they knew that there was going to be an opportunity if they wouldn't put up numbers. And that's exactly what a lot of guys did.
Well, they sure did, Ron. Mike Bordick here. What's happening? You and Mike Griffin did a super job, obviously, of managing and running that team. But you have a great relationship with Buck Showalter, and you just mentioned that you're on the phone a lot. And there were a lot of needs last year. And you look at this spring training and the depth that they've created once again. Do you foresee it pretty much the same? I mean, hopefully there aren't as many moves, but if need be, I mean, they're going to be making those calls again.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing I've seen from last year to this year, Bordy, and I think you know, too, by being out there. There's a lot more quality depth. There's a lot more talented people here. So we could be in the same situation. You know, you hope you don't have that. I hope that all these guys that they take north are performing well and doing what we need to do and we're winning. But we need to be stocked and ready. You got to have that depth to compete in the American League East.
Well, the way it's shaping up as Darren O'Day deals to the catcher Dan Rolfing, who is in Ryan Doman's spot. There are so many arms in this camp, Ron. You're going to have a pretty good staff at AAA this year.
Easy now.
And
easy.
Well, and the key is, I guess, is how do you keep them motivated as Rolfing hits it the opposite way, chasing Dickerson, who will get there, knowing that again it might be that one phone call away when they're right back in the big leagues.
That's the motivation. I mean, to me, when guys come down, we created a little bit of a swagger around here. And you know, you talk about the relationship with Buck, and I think players feed off what he's doing right now, and it trickles down into the minor leagues. So we've got a little confidence here. And, you know, these guys, they have to know we're not trying to get guys just to go out and play well and go out and do well in the International League. We're trying to get guys ready to go out and compete well in the American League East, and that's a very high bar to follow. So, you know, it's not like you go out and you're trying to get guys. We expect them to go out and compete like that. And then if things go bad, I just blame Mike Griffin, my pitching coach.
Who is here today, by the way.
He's right behind me.
Rick Adair is with the group in Clearwater watching Jason Hamill pitch today. And Mike Griffin does an outstanding job, and without a doubt, when players do come back to the Orioles, he has them ready. He seems to have that fine knack of figuring out what a guy's doing wrong who he hasn't seen for a while and helping him fix it.
He really does. He's outstanding. You know what? He gets guys to buy into him, and I think that's the biggest thing you have to do as a coach at this level or any level. You know, they got to believe in you. And it's not about what you did or what you can, you know, other guys do. It's what that player buys into what you're telling them, and if you can get him to do that, you can be a good coach. And Mike's outstanding. I'm very fortunate to have him.
Ron, can you tell us how it works? Buck Showalter talks all the time about having guys ready just in case. What about this? What about that? Are there times you'll get calls during a game, hey, don't use this guy in the game, we may need him tomorrow, so you have to have that guy ready and rested?
Yeah, that happens a little bit, but we're pretty organized about this. That'll happen usually on a extra inning game. I try to keep track of what's going on. You know, when we're out there running a game, you're running our game at the same time you're keeping kind of track in the back of your mind of what's happening in the big leagues. It's usually inning 11. As soon as they hit inning 11, then I start thinking, okay, we're going to be getting a phone call here because somebody's going to have to go to the big leagues. But I also try to have a feel myself and Mike going into the games and seeing how the situation has been in the big leagues the last 2 or 3 days. You can really tell if you pay attention. And yeah, there'll be guys you try to shy away from, and occasionally get that call. You know, you can't use this guy. My favorite is the one that called is the one about 20 minutes before the game, and then you can't use your starter. That's always interesting, but that's when you just get the hat out and the rabbit and pull stuff out and maneuver. Hopefully you're on the road, because then you're looking at 8 innings if things go bad. But
well, you had, was it last season, the one situation where you had some travel problems and you had to change your start at the last minute because the other guy wasn't there yet?
Oh, it was ridiculous. I don't know what happened to flights. I ended up getting the ballpark at like 6:30. The rest of the team was all scattered all over United States. They finally rolled in about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it was the same day. Gonzo gets called up to the big leagues, and he's supposed to start that night. So it was like, as the relievers would come in the door, it'd be like, okay, what do you got? 2 innings, okay, I can work with that. How about you? And we just make it happen. But that comes with knowing what you're supposed to do, and that's what we're supposed to do. Because the one game that's important to win on a nightly basis is the one in Camden Yards.
How many times a day do you talk with the minor league director, John Stockstill last year, this year Brian Graham, and Buck Showalter? How many times, or do you at least talk to them every day at least once?
You know what? I've been really fortunate here because my conversations roll a lot with Buck. And he's fantastic that way because he will call me so I don't have to hear it through. Because nothing against those guys, but when you start trying to go through different areas, and he's on top of everything, so it's pretty much Buck, and off we go.
Well, Ron, we appreciate the visit. You certainly do a great job for the Orioles and the organization. And just last year, 52 different players came through Baltimore, and a lot of them played for you several times during the year. But we appreciate the visit. Thanks so much, and go have a good year at AAA. And hopefully you'll have some semblance of a roster.
I'll tell you, that's a lot easier than coaching first base today.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Ron. Pleasure talking with you.
You got it.
That's Ron Johnson joining us from the bench. What a good guy, and he does a good job. And you know, he was understating the job he does. But you think about it, and he really is right. I mean, everybody in the minor leagues is there to serve the Orioles. And when you have a manager that gets that and isn't managing to maybe get noticed for a different job, I mean, that's why you have good people. And, you know, Dan Duquette has done a great job of adding good people to this organization. Roberts not in time to first base. Well, WILKIN, Ramirez legs it out. And that'll be a 2-out infield hit.
Well, I guess one thing that Brian's going to have to be more aware of is just the speed of other players. Hasn't played a lot for the last couple of years, so understanding the speed of some of the newer guys that he's seen. At that time, he just underestimated that speed.
So Ramirez has a 2-hit game, a double now an infield hit. Here's Chris Parmelee. Facing Darren O'Day. Breaking ball bends in there for a strike. O'Day made his first appearance in that exhibition game against Spain on the 6th. He's also worked on the 10th and the 14th. Breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's 0-2 on Chris Parmelee, who has walked and singled. Darren O'Day, a good year last year, won 7 games for the Orioles out of the bullpen.
One of the hardest things for a pitcher here with him up 2 strikes on Parmelee is to actually regroup yourself after what you think is going to be the final out of an inning, and then to be able to get your composure, go back on the mound, and get your focus instead of being frustrated about what potential or what happened behind you. And Darren O'Day attacking the strike zone right here, looking for that 3rd out.
Ramirez and Parmelee have now been on base 5 times in this game combined, or 4 times in this game, 4 out of 5 plate appearances. Here's the 0-2. It's a little low. 1-2 the count on Parmelee. Steve Johnson started 4 scoreless innings on 3 hits. Jim Johnson pitched the scoreless 5th. He had a 2-out walk. That man left stranded. Now Darren O'Day working with 2 outs and a man at first. Minnesota has stranded 5 over their first 5 at-bats and have a man on here in the 6th. foul back.
Well, it was a nice visit with Ron Johnson. I hope the people that were listening and watching could really tell that, I mean, he has a great sense of humor and obviously respects the Orioles and Buck Showalter very much. He's so well respected in all of baseball. He was first base coach with Boston Red Sox for a long time, and the Orioles are very lucky to have him part of this organization. And I'll tell you how highly thought of he was. He and Mike Griffin were both voted playoff shares from the Orioles team, which is a great tribute to them and how much they actually mean to the organization and have helped the players that came up through and participated in the big leagues last year.
Here's the 2-2 pitch, foul back. But and Mike Griffin, you know, he has that job. If a player is sent back to him, there obviously is an issue, or he would stay with the big league club. So I'm sure he and Rick Adair talk constantly about, okay, here's what he's doing, here's what we need him to work on or whatever. And it's a very important job because he then has to go about the getting the guy back on track move. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. A slow breaking ball, 78 miles an hour, and O'Day finally gets Parmelee. 2 out infield, hit 1 left, middle of the 6th, and the Orioles with a 5-0 lead. In Sarasota, the Orioles on St. Patrick's Day battling the Minnesota Twins. Yep, they have the green hats. Bruce Dickerson didn't let the wind bother him. And Steve Johnson, outstanding outing today. 4 scoreless innings. Even the crew is getting into the St. Patrick's Day spirit. And J.J. Hardy got into one, and he hit it a long way for a home run. Birds have 2 home runs in this game. And here's the second. Matt Wieters going opposite way, showing opposite field power from the left side. And on St. Patrick's Day, the Orioles with a 5-0 lead on Minnesota. 7 base hits for the Birds and 2 long balls. Minnesota has been held to 4 base hits. Matt Wieters with a 2-run home run. He now has 12 spring RBIs. And Steve Johnson with an outstanding outing. Here's Jared Burton, Mike, coming on the pitch here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Jared Burton, take a look at last season. Got in 64 games with that 3-2 record. Nice low 2.18 earned run average, 55 strikeouts and 16 balls. Pretty good ratio right there. 62 innings of work. Bring up J.J. Hardy. It's already gone deep one time, getting back on track. See that smile on his face. Feeling better.
And the fastball is high, 1-0. Defensive changes. Darren Mastriani is in center field. Brandon Boggs is now in right field, and Jeff Clement is now at first base. So 3 changes here this inning for Minnesota. As Hardy fouls it back, 1-1 the count.
You're already seeing better swing. That was a great pass right there to 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
JJ had 1 hit in his first 21 at-bats and 1 out of 2 today with the home run. Burton deals 1-1, swung on and missed. Jared Burton, the 3rd Minnesota pitcher. And a little bit low, 2-2, and a good eye and a good take. Burton is in his 2nd season with Minnesota. He got into 64 games a year ago. All in relief. And a swing and a miss. It gets away from Laughing. The throw to first is off the bag, and Hardy reaches. So that'll be a strikeout for Burton. And J.J. Hardy reaches. Strikeout and a pass ball. Fans, you can relive the Orioles' dramatic 2012 season with the new DVD, The Buckle Up Birds, an Underdog Story. It's available now at Orioles.com/buckleup. The DVD includes in-game footage and off-field interviews from key moments throughout the year, dramatic wins to each of the 6 Orioles Legends Celebration Series unveilings. Additional bonus content includes footage from the Orioles post-game wild card celebration. Order your copy of the Buckle Up Birds DVD now. Get online Orioles.com/buckleup. So the strikeout and the pass ball allowing J.J. Hardy to reach. And Connor Jackson takes a fastball high. Jackson with 2 singles now has 13 base hits on the spring. Jackson has singled each time the left field on hanging breaking balls. Let's this one go by, and it's ball 2. So Jackson now ties Lou Ford for the most hits on the Orioles with 13. Lou is 0 for 2 in this game. Jackson is 2 for 2. He was tied with Pierce and Flaherty in home runs, but Pierce has hit one. This one is center field, backing up is Mastriani. And he has a 40 out. 1 down here in the 6th inning. So 1 away, and back to first goes J.J. Hardy. Darren O'Day, nice enough to chat with us as he comes out of the game. And Darren, it looks like it's coming together for you. How'd you feel out there today?
Much better. You know, I have an idea where the ball's going now, which is exciting. Made a few too many pitches, but overall it was a positive outing.
So you had an idea of where the ball was going. Yeah. I think that is a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's, you know, starting the year again, it's kind of like relearning the pitch every year, for me at least. I don't know how other guys are, but it takes a while to get it all back in sync.
Well, it looks like it's coming together well. Mike Bordick here, Darren, nice job today. We were talking up here in the booth and just about composure that pitchers have when things happen behind them. And, of course, Brian Roberts, who will definitely make that play for you during the season, wasn't aware of the speed there. But how do you regroup the troops there and get yourself back on the mound and focus after something, you know, critical might happen behind you?
Well, I mean, you can, you know, your guys out there are trying their best. I think that ball kind of deceived both of us. I think we probably assumed it was hit a little harder than that, and I probably could have taken a stab at it, but you know, I'm getting up there. I just turned 30 this year. I didn't want to blow anything out in my back. I figure I'll let the guy that does it for a living do it. And, you know, it was just spinning so fast. He didn't have time to get to it. And the guy was, to his credit, he was getting down the line pretty good.
Yep. So you as a veteran, you know exactly what it takes to be ready for the real season. The game's not here just for that, right?
Yeah. I just realized I didn't answer Bordick's question, and I apologize, Mike.
Oh, that's okay.
As for composure, I don't know. I feel like you just keep pitching until you get 3 outs. You know, if you don't get too worked up about it, you'll never get yourself in trouble. Just keep throwing it where you're trying to, where the catcher tells you to, and good things happen.
Darren O'Day visiting with us. Darren, Buck has done a great job with the veterans who he knows will be on this pitching staff to bring you along at a slower pace. You and Jim Johnson certainly in that group. When does it begin to feel like you're getting close? You know, the games down here, the atmosphere certainly isn't what it will be in the regular season. When does it begin to click in for you? There's a base hit to right field off the bat of Dickerson. Hardy will go to second and make the turn. He's trying for third. Boggs will throw through, and safe for third is Hardy, and that allows Dickerson to get to second base. The aggressive base running by Hardy as Bobby Dickerson sent him, and he legs it out.
Good to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. For me, it starts to feel like the real season when you start facing these good hitters, and you get in a little battle. I just had a nice long at bat with Justin Morneau, and it's always fun, seeing you still got it since last season, and facing guys like that. You start to feel the excitement. The crowds in the locker room kind of dwindle down, and you sense that the team's starting to form and take shape. And everybody gets a little more excited as spring training goes on. We're ready to go.
What is the feeling on this team trying to duplicate and actually exceed what you did last year?
Yeah, I think there's some expectations now, which is a good thing. For a long time, there was pretty low expectations, and now we're on the opposite end of the spectrum. The feeling is we just got to keep doing everything we did last year to keep winning those games. There might be higher paid clubs, there might be more talented clubs, but hopefully we'll play the best game on that given day.
And that is a good point, because if anything, this is a team in every sense of the word. It seems that it doesn't matter who gets the credit. Really, most guys in this team don't care if they get the credit, but somehow it all gels together, because I believe you all have that mindset.
Exactly. It's a rare situation. I think in a lot of clubhouses around the major leagues, they kind of wish they had the chemistry and the closeness that we have. I've heard even commentators from the outside say they're a real team.
There's a base hit to center field for Lou Ford. Charging it was Mastriani. He won't make the play. Dickerson was running anyway, so Lou Ford keeps it going. There's his 14th spring hit. He's got a 3 RBI game, and the Orioles now with a 7-0 lead. We're visiting with Darren O'Day. And Darren, before we let you go, you had a great year last year, 7 wins out of the bullpen. Was that as much fun as you've had in the year? I know you had some successful teams in Texas, but the fact that this team came together as the year went on?
Yeah, it's a long tradition of baseball in Baltimore, and I've said this a few times before, but to be the team and the group of guys that brought winning baseball back after such a long hiatus, it was pretty special. And considering where we came from, which was the bottom of everybody's list, to almost making the AL championship, it's something that this team will never forget, and I personally, it's the most fun I've ever had playing baseball, for sure.
And are you able to draw on that now to hopefully get a little further along in the postseason?
Yeah. The only good things can happen from these guys, from everybody playing in the postseason last year, playing in all those close games throughout the whole season. You look at my first postseason wasn't what I wanted it to be. My second one was much better. And I think you learn so much from going through that once and how to handle it the second time. I'm excited to see, obviously got to get there first. The regular season is important, but the postseason is what really means the most, and I think that's what everybody's got their eyes focused on.
All right, well, Darren, we appreciate the visit. Keep it going, and thanks so much for joining us.
All right, guys, thanks for having me.
All right, that's Darren O'Day, nice enough to talk with us after coming out of the game, as he had a scoreless inning in the 6th. So his day is done. Jim Johnson also had a scoreless inning. Darren with a couple of strikeouts. He did give up that infield hit. Ryan Roberts batting now. Lou Ford on at first with the blue 2-run single. Roberts to first, fielded there by Clement to second. Juan back to first, and a double play. That'll go 3-6-3, and that ends the inning. 3rd double play the Orioles have hit into in the game. Darren O'Day signing some autographs. Nice gesture in Sarasota. Orioles have a 7-0 lead as we head to the 7th, and there's Jair Jurgens who comes on in relief. Of course, Jair signed in the offseason and initially to a major league deal, and then that was switched to a minor league deal when the physical was taken. Concerns, of course, about his knee, but he is healthy. And Mike, these are big-time numbers in his career: 53 big league wins and a 3.62 career ERA.
Yeah, he did a great job coming up through the Atlanta organization. Was an all-star back in 2011. Last year, you see the numbers here: 10 starts. That earned run average a little bit elevated, but struggling through some knee problems. And he comes into camp with some question marks right there, but we've seen some signs of brilliance from this Jurgens. I mean, he uses all his pitches: fastball, slider, curve, and change, but he has a plus change. And I'll tell you what, when he can locate and he keeps his command up, he mixes it up so well, much like Steve Johnson, keeping hitters off balance. He throws his change to righties. That's really his plus pitch, but he has to have that command. And I think early on in spring, he just had a problem trying to repeat his delivery. Well, he's starting to repeat it more consistently now. We're starting to see what Jurgens is all about.
Benson, first ball, swinging high, fly ball to left field where Nate McLouth now is. And Nate has it for the out, so one pitch and one down. McLouth moves from center to left as Luke Hudson is now in the game in center field. And Glenn Davis is in the game in right field. Hudson and Davis coming over from the minor league camp. Here's Chris Robinson now in the game behind the plate. And we have Yamaiko Navarro now in the game at second base. And a few changes here. Kyle Hudson and Glenn Davis brought over from the minor league camp, and they get into the game. Here's Eduardo Escobar. And a fastball for a strike, 1-1. Of course, Jurgens is a strike thrower. That's been the reputation and the track record in his career. The key is that knee healthy enough for Jurgens to have that command and to have the follow-through that he needs. There's a ground ball to second, and 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Baltimore Orioles. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. Of course, Jurgens wants to be a starter, but there is something to be said where if you have a guy who can pitch out of the bullpen and give you 3 innings if needed here or there to rest some other guys, that's something that certainly would be a benefit.
No doubt about that. I mean, obviously to build up those innings, and if he doesn't, I mean, he's obviously in line fighting for that 5th spot.
Another ground ball. This one bounced out there to Navarro, and how about that? Jair Jurgens with a very quick 3 up, 3 down inning, fly ball and a couple of ground outs. 7th inning stretch on St. Patrick's Day, 7-0 O's. Weekdays at 5 o'clock, you get all your Orioles news. You can catch live batting practice look-ins, player interviews, stats, analysis, and much more. That's Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock in Mid-Atlantic Sports Report right here on Massive HD. Yep, St. Patrick's Day here at the ballpark. A green tuxedo, sort of. Tuxedo t-shirt. A lot of green here today. Even the Oriole bird on the dugout doing his Irish dance between innings. Here's Manny Machado leading off in the 7th. Jared Burton stays on for Minnesota. Up and in 1-0. Manny walked, stole a base, and scored in the 5th. He has also reached on an error and popped up. Foul got a piece of the catcher, Rolfing. It was nice of Manny to ask him if he's okay.
Jim Presley was talking about Manny Machado earlier when we had him on. His swing looking so good. Well, I had the opportunity to throw Manny some batting practice yesterday, and it was impressive. He was hitting bullets all over the field, just staying within himself. He is just such a great talent. I don't know if anybody was able to read about or hear about the play he made a few days ago here. A backhand play reminding everybody of Brooks Robinson, and he turned and threw a bullet across the field in foul ground to get the runner by 2 steps. And I mean, there was a buzz in the dugout. There aren't many players that can make that play that Manny Machado made the other day.
Manny falls behind, a ball and 2 strikes. Check swing, and he went too far. Couldn't check in time. Burton gets the strikeout and 1 away. Another strikeout number 2 for Burton.
Pretty good pitch here to Manny. Change up. You see that late diving action. Down and in. Manny unable to hold up his swing. Pretty good pitch.
And Burton gets his 2nd K. Here's Nate McLouth. And fouls it off near Ron Johnson, who lets it go by.
Ron had great intentions right there. His mind said, oh, yeah, let's make a play. And his body said, nah, I'm not going to
let it roll down the line. He's on the wrong side of the field. He's accustomed to being in the other coach's box. You know, it's good, though. You know, Wayne Kirby's with the other squad. And Ron is almost as vocal as Wayne.
Well, both great characters. Great for the game of baseball, for sure.
McLouth out in front of that one, pops it up. That's trouble. And the shortstop, Florimon, gets out there and makes the catch. Well, that was a nice play by Pedro. As the outfielders, you saw the wind may have gotten it a little bit. It was going back towards the center fielder, Mastriani. And Florimon stayed with it, made the grab. Nicely done in 2 outs.
It was a nice catch by Pedro, not giving up on it, way over on the second base side in the outfield.
Here's your Michael Navarro batting for a first time. He's in Matt Wieder's spot in the lineup. Wieder's had a real good day, extending a hitting streak to 8 straight, his 3rd multi-hit game. He singled, he homered, drove in 2, and scored twice. Fastball is high, 1-0. Navarro has hits in 4 of his last 5 games in which he's had an at-bat.
He can swing it. He's been impressive this spring as well.
Got Wieters and Brian Roberts out of the game now, still on the bench. Again, it's another pickup to add to the depth in the organization. High pop-up, nearly the same spot, shallow right center field. Mastriani, the center fielder, calls, and he has it for the out. And the Orioles go 3 up and 3 down for the first time today. We're through 7, but Showalter's Birds with a 7-0 lead. 2013, the regular season fast approaching, just over 2 weeks away. It is opening day in Tampa against the Rays. That'll be on Tuesday, April 2nd at 3 o'clock. 3-game series there. Then the Orioles head home. A 3-game series. The home opener begins it on April the 5th at 3 o'clock against the Minnesota Twins. The Dodgers will come east. That'll be the Orioles' first interleague opponent, April 19th through the 21st. Of course, the Nats, the familiar foe, the home and home this year. 4 straight days, first 2 in Washington, and then the next 2 at Camden Yards. And how about that NL West road trip in August? San Diego, San Francisco, and Arizona. So the Orioles are looking forward to the 2013 season. Russ Kanzler is now in the game at third base, replacing Manny Machado. And Adam Greenberg is in the game, brought over from the minor league camp today. He is in left field, replacing Nate McLeod. And what a story. Adam Greenberg, of course, in 2005, in his very first major league at-bat with the Cubs, he was hit in the head by a pitch. He suffered a severe concussion, and it took him years to get back. Last year, the Marlins signed him to a one-day deal. He got into a game, one at-bat, and then was out. And the Orioles signed him to a minor league contract for this season. We don't know what team he'll be with yet, but adding some depth to the organization and giving him a chance at the age of 32 to possibly one day get back to the bigs.
Yeah, great guy. Works so hard. And boy, what a tribute to him to be able to stick with it and continue to pursue his dream. And here's an opportunity here late in this ball game to get in and show Buck Showalter what he can do. But great chance for him to keep playing the game that he obviously loves, and you know, with a great organization that's certainly on the rise.
Mastriani is batting. He is in HICKS spot in the lineup. And the 0-2, high fly ball to left. On cue, Greenberg is back on it. And on the warning track, he runs it down for the out. And the wind is blowing out that direction. That one definitely wind aided, but Greenberg stuck with it for the out. So Mastroianni is retired. There's Jamie Carroll, who's still in there, the second baseman. Jurgens has faced 4 batters. He's retired all 4.
Jamie Carroll's the type of veteran that he probably went up to Gardenhire. He said, hey, I didn't travel all this way to just sit on the bench at the end of the game. I'm going to play the whole game. See what happens here. Might be his last at bat, but that's the type of player he is, always wanting to be out there.
Minnesota trains in Fort Myers. That's a little over 90 miles away from Sarasota, going south. And there's a base hit in the left field. He hit it past Kanzler. So Greenberg will get it back in. Ball this inning, hit to left field. Fly ball, now base hit. Jurgens will have to go to the stretch for the first time. Dan Rolfing, the catcher, is 0 for 1. He took over for Ryan Domet. Jurgens misses low, 1-0.
Russ Kanzler over there at third base, big league experience. And when you talk about the players that Dan Duquette and Buck Showalter brought in here, I mean, so many of these guys are just great character guys. They've had experience in the big leagues. They work hard. They know what their roles are going to be. Obviously, they want to make it to the big leagues, get back here and establish themselves, but understanding the way this organization is set up right now, but just real good character guys that know that they're going to get opportunities, and they're here to help contribute the best they can.
Double play ball, Hardy to Navarro, back to first, and there's a double play. So the one-out single erase as Jair Jurgens hits another ground ball. 6-4-3 ends it. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th in Sarasota. 7-0 Rays.
We're here.
Well, fans, you can subscribe to MLB.TV Premium today and watch over 150 spring training games live, plus every regular season game live or on demand on over 250 mobile and connected devices. Just go online, Orioles.com, for all of the details. The bobblehead bird out there in right field, and there is happy birthday to Chris Davis, the birthday boy today, 27 years old, or young. So I would consider that young. There's Josh Renicky, former Oriole Gary Renicky's son, Ron Renicky, manager of the Brewers, his nephew, now on the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, Josh Renicky was claimed off waivers from the Colorado Rockies over the winter, so good pickup as well. He led all of relievers in appearances last year, and 63, 4-2 record, so good pickup for the Minnesota Twins.
He has pitched in the big leagues for Cincinnati, for Toronto, for Colorado, and now he's in Minnesota. Chris Davis, 1 out of 3, singled his first at bat. Looks like he's going to go the whole way here today. And the fastball misses outside. 2-0 on Chris Davis. Minnesota does not shift on Davis, as many teams do. Good hack there and a foul back. The other squad in Clearwater, the Phillies have a 5-1 lead. That game goes to the 7th. Jason Hamill charged with 4 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. 2 of those coming in on a 2-run home run by Galvis. Tommy Hunter is now in the game. He's allowed an unearned run. He has gone so far an inning and a third. And in that game, Roy Halladay started for Philadelphia and pitched just 1 inning. That looks as nice as Mike Bordick's scorecard.
When we start doing substitutions, my scorecard kind of falters a little bit.
Now, is that your new style with a scoring book? Isn't that nice? How about that? Who gave you that?
Oh, I had it made. I had it made.
Really?
Yes, I did. My kids made it for me.
Are you going to copyright that? 3-2 is fouled off. So you didn't like my scorecards, huh?
I love them.
You dumped them.
There's no way I can be as creative as you on a scorecard. I mean, beautiful coloring, and yeah, everything's great. There's no way I could do it, so I'll stick to my little sheet and my pencil because I know I'm going to be erasing.
So Davis really battling here as he continues to foul off pitches. Steve Molesky, by the way, is apparently ignoring me. MassSports.com. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fouled off again. He's covering the game in Clearwater, and I sent him a text about an hour ago. Why did Roy Halladay come out after an inning? I'm still waiting to hear back from him.
Nothing, huh? I'd like to know how hard Tommy Hunter's throwing today.
Well, I would ask him, but he's ignoring me.
Boy, the other day he hit 99 on the gun down in Minnesota.
So another 3-2 pitch to Chris Davis. And a foul back.
Pretty good swings here by Chris Davis. And some pretty good pitches. Renicky, tough ones.
Another 3-2 from Josh Renicky. And another foul ball. So Davis, about to face the 12th pitch from Josh Renicky, who's getting all his work in on one batter. Slaps it the other way down the left field line and foul. Bounces into the Minnesota bullpen.
Well, that's impressive right there that he stays on that pitch to fight it off. And it's a bullet down the left field line, just foul.
So here's the 13th pitch. Will it be lucky for Davis? Swept to second base. Jamie Carroll is there. And he'll get it to first to get the hustling Davis. Just really barely down the line. So 13 pitches, and finally, Josh Renicky wins that battle.
Oh, it was a great battle by both Davis and Renicky, but Renicky with a little change up there at the end to get Chris Davis to roll over him.
So you're going to go out for corned beef and cabbage today?
It depends on what my son wants to do.
Oh, son calls the shots. I like that. Here's J.J. Hardy. See, I'm traveling today, so I made sure to have that last night. Hardy with a home run back in the 4th. Hits this one the shortstop. There's Florimon. Smooth defensively, and he gets Hardy for the second out. You think Steve heard me? He just got back to me. Says Halliday left with a stomach virus. So obviously had nothing to do.
There have been some concerns, though, with Halliday throughout the spring. Fastball velocity, leaving pitches up. But it's kind of funny. I mean, you see, especially veteran pitchers, as they work on their pitches throughout the course of spring training, you know, might get roughed up a little bit. Not all of them can look like the Cy Youngs that they're capable of being throughout spring training. But I remember Bob Welch came out of spring training back in 91. I think it was 91, with like a 17 earned run average, and he went on that year to win 27 games. So, you know, as we show concern out here for spring training games and hope that everybody's having a great spring and it's all in rhythm and everything's good, they can turn around in a second.
Jackson to left field. Back on it is Benson, and it's off the wall. And Jackson's going to head to second base. Well, he's trying to make this team. He's got a 3-hit game and now has 14 base hits in the spring. Nearly hit that one out. He hit it off the wall.
That is impressive. And he takes an aggressive swing, maybe not as, you know, fundamentally sound as maybe hitting coach Jim Presley would like, but he gets the bat head to the ball and he makes solid contact.
So here's Glenn Davis getting an at bat. He is in Dickerson's spot in the lineup. And a swing and a miss. This young man has a lot of speed. And he takes low, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Maryland native. A lot of optimism, young Glenn Davis. He, like you said, he has speed. He's a big kid, so you know his power will eventually come. And he's a good outfielder.
They went to Catonsville Community College, went to high school in Pasadena at Northeast High School. Last year played 101 games at Delmarva and then moved up to Frederick. 2-1 is taken for a strike, 2-2. Davis last year had 37 stolen bases combined in the minor league season. He has Connor Jackson at second base with 2 down. Ground ball slowly hit past the mound. Florimon back of the bag. And he's got it for the out as he gets Davis down the line. 2-out double and a man left. We'll head to the ninth in Sarasota. The Orioles with a 7-0 lead. The day, Eduardo Encina from the Baltimore Sun, who's in Clearwater at Eddie in the yard. Hamill on his outing today. I'm not too happy with it, honestly. I'm definitely happy with the way my body feels. The other things will come. Well, 4 runs in 4 2/3 innings. As he exited the game, could not get through the 5th. He allowed a run in the 3rd, a run in the 4th, and then 2 more in the 5th before Tommy Hunter relieved him. So Jason Hamill, not happy with the outing today, but it'll come together.
It sure will. I mean, see Russ Kanzler moved over to first base, and Brandon Waring slid in at third base.
Jared Jurgens stays on. Jeff Clement is batting. It's his first at bat.
Well, first and foremost, when you talk about Hamill, is his health, and he feels good. His body feels good, so that's a positive sign. They can iron some whatever issues he had today out in the bullpen sessions and when he throws in some minor league games. But the biggest concern for Hamill is his health. Get through spring training.
What'd you call him?
I said Hambone. I don't know why I said Hambone.
Is it a pet name? You're hanging out in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
A little too much. Oh, that's right. You work there.
Sometimes.
In that game at Clearwater, Wilson Betemit is 2 out of 3. Fastball high, and Clement wouldn't chase. Steve Pearce is 1 out of 2 with a home run. And the Phillies lead the Orioles 5-1 in the 7th. Right here, it's 7-0 O's. And the 1-2 is just outside. Jared Jurgens looks real good.
He does.
Ground ball towards the middle. Navarro nicely done to his right. Off balance throw. Got him right plenty. Micah Navarro, outstanding play. Takes a base hit away from Clement.
Yeah, it sure was. He shows some great range here. You say an off-balance play, but look at him gather himself just to get his body under control, center his balance, able to make that nice, strong throw. Good play by Yamko.
Wilkin Ramirez fouls it back. John Russell is managing the team in Clearwater today, Buck Showalter's bench coach. And he just had the honor of putting his son in the game. Steele Russell is catcher in the Orioles minor league system. He's now in the game. Swing and a pop foul. That'll be back in the crowd. Ramirez has 2 hits. He's 2 out of 3 in the game. He was in the DH spot. And down on strikes he goes. So Jurgens gets his first strikeout. He has faced the minimum 8 since he came on.
One last pitch down at the bottom of the zone. And he's been mixing it up so much. You're going to get these swings at pitches that are, you know, guys are anticipating certain pitches, and he's just mixing it up well enough and changing speeds and keeping these guys off balance. He's looked really good. A lot of positives today to come out of this ball game. Steve Johnson, of course, a nice outing. Jurgens throwing the ball really well. J.J. Hardy with that home run, get him back on track. Waiters continuing to stay hot. Connor Jackson, a lot of positives, you know, you take out of these ball games, but pitching really most important, and it's good to see Jurgens repeating his delivery, making some good pitches. Another good one right there.
Brendan Boggs, his first at bat. He's in Parmelee's spot. Jurgens allowed a 1-out single to Jamie Carroll in the 8th, but then got a double play ball. 3rd inning of work facing his 9th batter. And it's a little low. There's some tough decisions that lie ahead for this team with the performances of so many players in this camp.
Yeah, a lot of things come into play too when you start making some of the roster decisions. It's a lot of time, you hate to say it, you want to take your best players north, but other things come into play. Contract status comes into play, the options that players have may come into play. So trying to manage that and figure it out, because you'd hate to lose a player, have to put them on the waiver wire, or even there are some non-roster invited players that have potential to possibly make the team. Mark Hendrickson, you know, with his new sidearm delivery has put himself in a good position too, and then you'll have to open up roster spots, you know, so a lot of things come into play. So Dan Duquette and Buck and Rick Adair, a lot of thinking about it.
And that's why so many who have followed the Orioles here in camp, as that one just missed outside, expect a trade before opening day.
Yeah, take a look at this pitch. Just on the outside corner. A little bit earlier we saw that strike on Nate McLouth, but this time ball.
And the 3-2 is hit high and deep to right field. Back on it is Davis, and that ball's going to go. Boggs hits it out. One pitch after Jurgens thought he had a strikeout.
Well, definitely a little frustration right there, because he made a real good pitch just off the plate. Had to bring it back onto the plate, and he didn't miss that one. Really good. Take a look at this pitch here. Fastball, tried to paint, but he went out and got it. Hooked it out over Glenn Davis's head for a home run.
So here's Joe Benson now, who has gone the whole way. That was the 31st pitch thrown by Jurgens. I love those hats. That's a good look. Yeah. Breaking ball's a little low, 1-1. Showalter looking on from the Orioles bench. Jurgens, because he's in camp on a minor league deal, he could be sent to the minors without being exposed. Of course, he wants to break this camp with the major league squad. There's a bouncer towards short. And a big hop there, and a throw across, and that'll do it. So Jurgens allows the 2-out home run. But the Orioles win it by a final of 7-1. Outstanding pitching here today by Johnson, O'Day, and Jurgens, as the Orioles get home runs from Hardy and Wieters, and the Birds with a 7-1 victory over the Minnesota Twins.